This is the Queer Cinema Catchup Recap and Reaction to Season 3, Episode 6 of White Lotus called Denials.
We're going to recap and react to this episode, giving you a little bit of an explanation of what was going on with each character, discussing that incest that happened, and playing a little game with these whiteboards.
Just call me Armand.
Call me Valentina, because this is for anybody who wants to stay checked in at the White Lotus a little bit longer than usual. So let's get into it. What was going on with our characters? What was happening with with Belinda? What was going on with Belinda?
Belinda's hanging poolside. Her son's come to town to visit and was interrupted because Porn Chai was sleeping with her that evening. And it was a little bit awkward for her.
Yes. Anything else happen with Belinda that feels noteworthy?
Well, Greg, at the end of the episode, meets with Belinda, and did he invite her to his party that he's throwing?
Yeah, he invited her to dinner and said, bring your son along.
See, that's another thing. This season, it's like there was 3 episodes that stretched over one day, and now I feel like that's kind of happening with this episode, where I thought we were kind of done with that, where we'd have episodes kind of, a lot would happen within a day, but I feel like they're doing that thing where they're cutting it off on a cliffhanger and they haven't finished the day.
We haven't gotten to the big dinner party yet.
Yeah.
So just to catch up on what this dinner party is all about, we've got Greg / Gary. His girlfriend comes back from the night on the cruise boat, having had hooked up with both the brothers of the Ratliff family. And she doesn't want Gary to know this, but he kind of susses it out. And his reaction, instead of being super angry, is to invite them over for dinner.
Which people can lie and not show their real reactions to things. And I don't think you'd risk... I don't know why she's being so gullible and thinking that he's okay with it.
I don't know.
And what makes her think that he's okay with it?
I don't know. I honestly am having a hard time reading Gary / Greg. Like, I kind of think like they want you to think he murdered Tanya, and I feel like he did, but he's a bad guy. Charlotte even says, "Oh, he'll kill me for cheating on him."
I mean,
but that can't be. It can't be as straightforward as that.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna actually offer Belinda hush money to open up her own. And I bet at the end of the season, we're just jumping ahead of predictions. I bet that in the end of the season, she is gonna open up in this very sweetly. Porn Chai and her had another conversation where he said, "You want to open your own business? We could do it together in Thailand." And I immediately said, "Oh, he's gonna die." But now I have a new idea. I don't think he's gonna die. I think they're gonna take Greg's hush money, and they're gonna open up their lovely resort in Thailand and live happily ever after. That's what I think.
Whoa.
So we kind of covered a couple characters in there.
Nice.
Okay.
Jason Isaac's character is not doing too hot still, but he's taken his daughter to the...
Monastery.
Is it called a monastery for Buddhism?
Yeah.
Not a temple?
I think there are temples and then there are monasteries. I know they said monastery. Well, I don't actually know.
Well,
no, I don't really know.
It was Parker Posey, I think that said monastery.
I guess I don't really know. I'm becoming Parker Posey in this moment. Ignore me.
So they go because the daughter, as we said in the last episode, she wants to live there for a year, and her parents are not too happy about it. Well, actually, Jason Isaac's character seems preoccupied with other things because his world is collapsing in other ways. But they go to the temple / monastery, and Parker, can we just Google it really quick? I'm actually kind of curious.
Sure. A temple is a primary place of worship, while a monastery is a compound where religious communities, like monks or nuns, live, work, and worship. So there are temples there, but it is a monastery because they live there. All right, continue.
So the daughter, what's her name?
Piper.
Is trying to stay there for a year, and Parker Posey and Jason Isaac's characters are going with her, and Lachlan says that he also will go along, and it seems like Lachlan's kind of like up to various things because there's a whole flashback that we see through broken memories through Patrick Schwarzenegger's character's perspective of Lachlan having sex with a woman and then also jerking him off.
At the same time.
And it's set up in a way where you think that people have been theorizing that Lachlan in the previous episode had like spit out whatever drug he was taking and was just trying to get like Patrick to, or Saxon to another level. But what's really interesting with this episode is by the end of the episode, spoiler, Piper and Lachlan stay for the night at the monastery.
Which is Parker Posey's rule for Piper. If she really wants to stay there, she has to stay one night. But continue.
So in that moment, as they're sitting at meditation, Lachlan is like focusing on his thoughts, and then he remembers the events of the night before with the threesome, and it appears in his reaction that he's remembering it for the first time.
And that he's disturbed.
So he's disturbed by it. But what I brought up to begin with is Piper's wanting to stay there for a year, and she goes and meets with the monk, and she asks that, it was her first time meeting them, which I thought was really interesting, how she's kind of like blasted into it without feeling it out.
He's like a revered figure that she probably feels closer to.
Okay, that makes more sense. But she's just like, I want to live here for a year. My parents are here. They're in doubt about it. Can you meet with them? And he
does.
Yeah. And then there's an amazing scene between, and what's Jason Isaac's character's name?
Tim.
There's an amazing scene with Tim and the monk, where the monk explains the idea of life and death and birth were like pulled from like one mind, like a water droplet.
From the ocean. It was a body, or a oneness.
A oneness. And then when you die, you like go back into that one mind and or ocean, which I thought was like a really pleasant thought. And Tim was taking it very thoroughly and seriously, and it very much applied to his circumstances because he's very stressed.
And he's fantasizing about suicide the entire episode. And when Parker Posey reveals that if they were to lose everything, she wouldn't be able to live, she doesn't have the capacity to live an uncomfortable life, maybe she never did, is what she tells her husband. Mm-hmm. Tim's fantasies even begin to extend to a murder-suicide situation. It's not looking great, but I really want to go back to Piper's interaction with the monk because I found it very interesting. She said that she was very lost, she was very upset. I don't value what my family values, and I don't know how to like move through the world, which is why I want to come here. But if they don't say I can come, I mean, I'm an adult, of course I can come, but it'll be really hard. So to me, if this idea that she's a Buddhist who like wants to live without, like examine the self and examine her attachments, and yet she's so attached to her family that as an adult she can't even, she keeps telling her parents it's not a big deal to go for a year. Mm-hmm. But that's clearly not how she really feels. That she actually feels very connected to her family and unable to break free of them.
Which is why she's hesitant about staying there for a night.
That's why she wants the monk to tell her parents to say yes, because she needs their permission internally. That was a very surprising revelation about her character.
Yeah.
And I also want to return to Lachlan and Saxon because, yeah, they show this sequence of memories. You assume that Lachlan kind of manipulated the situation in order to hook up with his older brother, which I'm sure what everyone's going to be talking about, like this incest part of the series. But what struck me was how every scene thereafter, after you see this memory, I was reading Lachlan's character in such a sinister way because he suddenly was really wanting to help Piper. And he's like, oh, I'll come. Should I please come with me to the monastery? He says yes. He even defends her to his parents. He agrees out of the blue to stay with her and support her that night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's trying to do it with his sister too. But then I realized at the end of the episode it's not accurate, that he is the sweet boy that we have been introduced to most likely. And so I just thought it was interesting how our perceptions of these characters can shift based on the information we're given. Mm-hmm. Because I was kind of reading him more in a sinister, negative, manipulative way. Because I thought he was trying to hook up with the sister too.
Yeah, I just don't, like, that where, I don't know how it would work, like, with visual storytelling, they have, like, shown, like, Lachlan, like, looking at his brother's, like, bare ass, and it seems, and, like, they never, like, show, like, him, like, I mean, not that he was, like, lusting after, like, his brother's ass, but I think he's just, like, the idea of, like, the male form, and it just, like, happens that his, like, I don't know. So it's, like, interesting that they're not showing him kind of, like, lustfully looking at
his sister.
The sister, or even, like, female, like, women.
I agree, because I think that's kind of maybe where it's gonna go, is that he was very high, and he is attracted to men, and so he wasn't really thinking during this experience, like, I'm with my brother. He was just kind of, like, in this moment of pleasure, which is also what the monk talks about. He tells Tim Ratliff.
I'm sorry. I totally brushed over that Lachlan is having sex with a woman.
Yeah, well, I said it. I explained.
But I'm like, I don't see him ever lusting after women.
False. I didn't even question it. You know, in Queer Cinema Catchup, we think everything's gay, so, you know. But, you know, you can be bisexual.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly. So we're still within the realm of the queer.
Even if it's all straight people, we're still going to find a way to talk about the queerness.
But yeah, so where was I going? Oh yeah, like he's kind of caught up in it, and then that's why it happened, because he's attracted to men, but it's only in retrospect when he has the memories that he realizes what's really happened, and he's disturbed. But yeah, I guess I just mean like it's such a taboo. So when
incest.
someone crosses that line, you kind of see them, like Cersei and Jaime Lannister, the evil characters of, well, I mean, I know Jaime goes on a different kind of arc, but they're like the evil characters of Game of Thrones in the beginning, and they are
the heroes by
a couple.
The end.
No.
We're rooting for them.
That's not what I'm saying. Jaime left Brienne Tarth alone to go be with Cersei at the end. Spoiler, sorry guys. Anyway, I just think it's interesting the way like your perception of Lachlan can shift over the course of the episode because of something so taboo being introduced.
Yeah.
I just mean I thought like he was trying to get with Piper, so I'm trying to say, but I was.
I don't know why I didn't.
I was playing with my expectations. I think they wanted you to think that because he was being so helpful toward her.
Yeah.
Anyway, or maybe it was like he's tried his brother's way of being kind of debaucherous out in the world, and now he wants to try his sister's way of being more monk-like. But who knows? We'll find out. Did we cover everybody? No, we didn't cover everybody. What's going on with our three best friends?
You mean, I'm not going to remember any of their names. Leslie, Carrie, and Michelle Monaghan?
Yeah, that's right. Or Kate, Lori, and Jacqueline. You're going by their character names.
Carrie is sick of this shit. Valentino slept with Michelle Monaghan's character, and Leslie Bibb does her little mind games and reveals this to Carrie Coon and be like, well, you know, I can't believe she's done this. And then Alice pointed out, she's like, oh, I totally see Leslie Bibb's character as the one who wants to be in Michelle Monaghan's good graces.
But it backfired, but yeah.
Well, yeah, because Carrie Coon was just like, fuck this, we're acting like we are still in 10th grade, where we're all gossiping behind each other's backs. Like, why don't we just be honest and upfront with each other? But Michelle Monaghan completely denies having slept with...
Which is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Why does she do that?
Well, I mean, she's like in denial about so many things about like...
I guess
her, like,
denials.
Her... Yeah.
Right. We're filming this late at night, guys. We don't know what's going on.
How could this possibly... Why is every character denying things? Yeah. So Michelle's like in complete denial about it. And then Carrie Coon is like, she's like, let's be honest. Let's just like say everything we feel. And that's like a very like... I feel like I could be like that at times where it's like honesty, full honesty at all times is so important, but then there's times where it's like it's like social grace, it's like too much, and also it's like kind of emotionally selfish for her to just you just like don't know what Michelle Monaghan is going through either. For
and she is like punishing her because she's jealous.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want to sleep with Valentina, I don't think, but I think she liked the idea that they were pushing her to do it, that he seemed to like her, that he danced with her.
She's like, why would you even push him on me if you were to sleep with him in the end? Which I don't think it was Michelle Monaghan's intention at all. It just kind of worked out that way.
I'm not sure.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I do think, I don't know. I feel like I'm not quite sure what's going on with Michelle's character, but even so, so I understand why they're all.
And there was a great scene. There was a great scene with Carrie Coon at the breakfast table. Well, they were all. What am I singling out?
I was thinking the margarita part.
Yeah, that was great. But they're Leslie and Carrie are at breakfast, and it's just been revealed that she found out that Valentino slept with Michelle Monaghan's character, and then Valentino comes over, and you can just feel like the heat seething from Carrie Coon and how like she's like so upset. And then just kind of like a jilted lover, like Valentino's like, oh, like, can I plan anything for you today? And Carrie Coon's just like, I think I'm just gonna hang out at the hotel. You know, we don't do any of those things that you've suggested. He's like, oh. Okay.
But then by the end, we get back at Jacqueline, she says, weren't we supposed to go hang out with the guys at the Thai wrestling thing?
Yeah.
We should go. Because now she wants to make her feel comfortable.
Yeah. But how's they're at the pool. They're like, let's be honest, it's 3 margaritas.
She's like, I think we should just be honest. Let's get it. And then Lily's like, I'm okay. She like slaps her. She's like, no, you're having a margarita.
A margarita.
But then I just want to close the loop on that and say that Jacqueline and Leslie's character Kate have this conversation where Jacqueline says, everyone gossips. I'm a celebrity. Everyone gossips about me behind my back. I never thought my own friends would do this. But it's so interesting because when we saw the three of their reactions to the gossip in the beginning, Jacqueline seems so unbothered. So it is something very specific about putting out into the open that she cheated on her husband that has ruffled her feathers. Or is she just kind of enjoying the drama?
I don't know. I was really looking forward to that scene because it's just like Leslie and Michelle alone after Carrie had like her big moments in the episode. And it really, I don't know if you felt the same way. It seemed like Michelle was like, she said her part, and then it cut to Leslie Bibb, and I was like, oh boy, we're gonna get like a whole like monologue from Leslie. But then the music like cranked up, and like Michelle just stormed away. I was like, oh man, like I was hoping for more.
Nobody can stand up to her. Yeah, I know. I'm curious to see what's. I don't really have a theory on where those ladies are headed, but I'm enjoying the.
And where is what's his name?
Walter Goggins' character, Rick. So he's still in Bangkok with his friend.
How is Bangkok? We started this episode twice. We thought that his girlfriend was saying.
You can intuit what we thought what we thought was said.
True. It's intuit.
We can intuit. Like the audience can, our viewers can understand that we heard something different and we were like, what? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I saying the word? Oh, I guess you could. I already said the word Bangkok.
Like, so you just don't need to say anything further, you know?
You're right.
We might get censored.
But
yeah, they're still there, and Rick is having his friend, played by Sam Rockwell, pose as a director to convince one of the owners of the hotel to...
What's her name?
It's like, I can't pronounce it, but I have it written down. It's Stritala.
Stritlada.
You're thinking of the Morton Strata. That's a private joke. You guys don't get to know about that right now. And so they go to her house after Rick convinces her that the director really wants to base the character off of her in this movie that he's making, supposedly, off her real self. She's like, well, you can't come over because my husband, he's really sick. And then Rick's like, well, leave him alone. Lie. And then Sam's character has some reservations because he thinks Rick's going to kill the man. He's like, well, why'd I bring you the gun? He's like, I'll leave the gun behind. Which, who knows what's going to happen. So it ends with them in the house, which I'm also disappointed because I kind of feel like it's been a lot of build-up to Rick actually getting here, and I'm just kind of like, can we get to the moment?
This kind of is like, this whole season is just kind of like a 3-episode miniseries that they stretched out. We're only in episode 6.
Yeah.
But like, I guess a lot has happened.
It has. I think it's all gonna explode.
It's much more,
it's like a slow...
It's much more episodic.
Which is a television series.
I know, but like episodic spread across like 3 episodes.
Yes. I hear you. You look so disappointed.
Are you not?
I will...
When this ended, I was like, it's over?
I'm going to reserve my final opinion until I see the completion of the story.
Well, how's your experience going so far?
I mean,
how's your stay at the White Lotus so far?
I'm enjoying my stay. But I
thought we were the hosts at the hotel.
Oh, well, I'm a special host. I'm Belinda. I'm on my little trip to improve for professional development purposes.
What would you go into?
In the hotel world? I don't know. I think I would do anything at a hotel. I mean, I'm naturally...
Anything.
Yeah, I'm naturally kind of service-oriented.
But you have the choice to choose anything?
Maybe a scuba. No, I don't actually want a scuba. No.
In fact, recently I thought you said you would never scuba.
This should be for the game. You're jumping ahead.
What else do we have to talk about?
We have to talk one more thing. Fabian. And Gay Talk. Gay Talk, he found the gun.
Gay Talk is the part of the episode where we talk gay.
Yeah, no. No, it's not. No, he's a great character. So they found the gun. The gun was missing. He waited until Saxon left the unit, and then he was able to go inside. He looked everywhere, and he was able to secure the gun just in time to go to the shooting range. And then his boss asked him if he was sure he had a killer instinct, and he said he did, which is ominous. Mm-hmm. And then Fabian, who is the Fabian.
Really, I do with Gay Talk, something that I thought was genius and hilarious is Jason Isaac's character hid the gun in this chest with like 45
they were like
little
this big.
drawers.
The drawers.
I love the dresser. And Gaetak's like searching through the house, and of course he's like looking anywhere but actually not looking for too long. And then he like finally like looks over at the chest and is like, oh great, we're gonna see
the family's coming back.
We're gonna see a scene of him having to go through every drawer. But he just like walks up to it and he like opens the first drawer he does, and it has the gun inside.
I appreciated that.
So
I appreciated that. Okay, and then last but not least, we got Fabian, who's the hotel manager.
Was pretty hilarious.
He invited Belinda. He also invited Belinda to a dinner. Belinda's been invited to 2 dinners this episode, and he said it's for the staff, and I'm gonna sing, and I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah. It's just so funny coming off the last episode where he just like completely denied any concerns that she had about her safety, but then you just see how much he just is kind of about himself and concerned about
his path to stardom.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play a game.
Do you think he'll be good at singing?
That's a good question. I think they want you to think he's going to be bad.
But it'll be really good.
So maybe he'll be good. All right. If you could be anything at any job at the White Lotus, what would you do? The White Lotus, Thailand in particular. All right, what'd you pick?
I said AV tech. I'd be the one that sets up for all their little dance numbers, the lighting and all that stuff in the sound system.
Well, that's very creative of you. I would be... This is actually very inaccurate to my personality, but I thought it was funny. I'd be the lizard wrangler. Guys, I would be really scared of the lizards. Let's be real. All right. Okay. Who now in this episode, after we've gotten more information, who do you think dies at the end of this series? What do you think? Lori. Why?
Because Carrie Coon signed on, and she was like, I'll only be part of this show if I'm the one that's killed off.
You think that she's like that?
No, not at all.
Oh. Okay, I sadly think it's going to be Porn Chai. Even though I just said I think him and Belinda are going to open their amazing spa, I really do think that's going to happen, but my alternate theory is that they get the blood money and they're going to open the spa, but then Porn Chai dies, tragically.
But
teaching us that we should never take blood money.
They're not going to open a spa within the time of this show.
But they could flash forward.
Would they do that? Is that in the language of the White Lotus?
I think so. Yeah, in the first season at the end, you get to flash forward to the airport again. If you recall. Okay. All right. Oops. Wait, no, there's 2 more. Favorite character of the week and least favorite character of the week, and then we're done. All right, my favorite was Kate because Leslie Bibb.
Oh, Leslie.
She did a lot of hilarious power moves. Her acting was excellent, and she caused chaos among her friends. And she made them finally. She didn't want this to happen, but she made one of them finally be honest. So that was exciting. And then my least favorite was actually Charlotte.
Charlotte's Greg's partner.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, what she said on the boat about how like she just cheated on Gary, and then she's like, "Oh no, this is so bad for me. I'm in a really good situation." It's like, that's...
But then you saw the mansion and you understood completely.
I was joking. I was still joking.
And you grabbed your whiteboard, you said, make a note. Follow in
I just
Charlotte's
think, I'm like,
footsteps.
because one character called another character soulless, and I'm like, you're calling, her friend called Saxon soulless, right? And I'm like, I think your friend is the one who doesn't know soul. Because she's just like using Greg for his big house, a big yacht. Okay.
Well, I said my least favorite this episode was Chelsea.
Oh.
She just didn't get much to do. Not per se that like I don't like her, but usually I like her so much in the episode. And
what she did have made me laugh though.
She just like was there to like react to finding out the threesome and the brothers jerking off. And then my favorite, Lori.
Is that your favorite 2 times in a row? We should have been keeping score. Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun. Like a who's gonna come out on top? Okay, so 1 for Lori. 1 for who did I say was my favorite? Kate. I'm totally gonna leave this up, and we're not gonna forget. Okay. All right. That's the ends of the game portion of our recap. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us at the White Lotus. You can check out at the front desk.
If you need a lizard to collect, you know who to call.
Call the lizard catcher. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Please like, subscribe, and check out our other videos on Queer Cinema Catchup.